And we're back again at Genesis chapter 32. I think I was reading verse 30, but we'll go ahead and start with verse 31. And as he passed over Penuel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Notes, the sun is now rising, but upon a crippled Jacob. If the Lord is to reveal himself to an individual, the flesh must be crippled. That is the absolute necessity, probably the single biggest requirement. Verse 32. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day. Because he who was the Lord touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. Notes. I think this particular sinew is the proper name for the large tendon which takes its origin from the spinal cord and extends down the thigh into the ankle. It was called by the Greeks the tendo Achilles because it reaches the heel. So the heel catcher became a prince with God. Chapter 33. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah. Notes, those who belonged to Leah, and unto Rachel he did the same thing, and unto the two handmaids, etc., 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 etc. And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. Notes, those he considered his greatest love were at the rear. Verse 3. And he passed over before them, and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. Notes, the action of Esau shows just how groundless were Jacob's fears, and how needless were his plans. Verse 5. And he lifted up his eyes, and saw the women and the children, and said, Who are those with you? And he said, The children which God has graciously given your servant. Notes, well, it's pretty obvious that Esau is a powerful chief. How so sad that this man did not see the great spiritual truths. In that case, it would have been the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Esau, but such was not to be. Verse 6. Then the handmaidens came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children came near, and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near, and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, What is the meaning of all the droves which I meet? And he said, who was Jacob, These are to find grace in the sight of my Lord. And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that you have unto yourself. And Jacob said, No, I pray you, if now I have found grace in your sight, then receive my present at my hand. For therefore I have seen your face as though I had seen the face of God, and you were pleased with me. Verse 11. Take, I pray you, my blessing that is brought to you, because God has dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took it. Notes, Esau accepting the gift as well stated that he had accepted Jacob, and there were no more hard feelings. Verse 12. And he who was Esau said, Let us take our journey, and let us go, and I will go before you. And he who was Jacob said unto him, My Lord knows that the children are tender, and the flocks and the herds are young, with their young are with me. And if men should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. Verse 14. Let my Lord, I pray you, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly, according as the cattle that goes before me, and the children be able to endure, until I come unto my Lord unto Seir. On a side note, Jacob never actually did get to Seir. We'll see why. Verse 15. And Esau said, Let me now leave with you some of the folk who are with me. And he said, There is no need. Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord. So Esau returned that day on his way unto Seir. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth and built him an house. Notice, this is the first mention of a house as it regards the patriarchs. Scripture, and made booths for his cattle, therefore the name of the place is called Succoth. Notice, Jacob went to Succoth, but the Lord had not said, I am the God of Succoth, but rather, I am the God of Bethel. Events will prove that Jacob was not in the will of the Lord. Verse 18. And Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padanaram and pitched his tent before the city. Notes, referred to the fact that he was claiming this area as his domicile, if you will. Verse 19. And he brought a parcel of a field, or actually I should say, he bought a parcel of a field where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar and called it El Elohi Israel. Notes, Jacob erects an altar at Shechem, for the conscience is uneasy without religious forms, but the divinely chosen place for the altar was actually Bethel. Chapter 34, actually. We're coming right along. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bore unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. Notes, this seems very innocent. However, these daughters led to a companionship with shame. People have to be very careful concerning the world and its ways, and we'll get right to it. Verse 2. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hittite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. Notes, Dinah had paid the full penalty of her carelessness. She suffered the fate which the devil had planned for Sarah and Rebekah in the land of Pharaoh and Abimelech. She was seen and taken by the son of the prince, forcibly it seems, against her will, but yet with the claims of affection by her lover. Verse 3. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, and spoke kindly unto the damsel. Notice, this seems to be like a marriage proposal of some kind. Verse 4. And Shechem spoke unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. Notes, marriages were arranged in those days, so Shechem asked his father Hamor to work out the details. Verse 5. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with the cattle of the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. Notes, supposedly to make arrangements for the marriage. And we will have to stop right there. We'll pick right back up at Genesis chapter 34, verse 7.